is Mary Kay Ballasiotes. 20 years ago, I survived a potentially deadly condition called VTE, venous thromboembolism, which basically meant I had blood clots in my legs and my lungs. I had no idea that I was at risk for VTE, and I didn't even know what blood clots were. So what I came to find out was I had 4 red flag risk factors for VTE. I was hospitalized, I had given birth, I had 2 surgeries in 4 days, and I was completely immobilized. Any one of those would have been a risk factor for VTE. I had 4 of them. So luckily, I spoke up and told the doctors about my symptoms. Otherwise, I would have been sent home without any treatment. I was 39 and I was pregnant with our 3rd child. 35 weeks, I broke my foot and it needed surgery. I missed one stair in the basement. It was the day after Halloween, I remember, and I was going down to take down the decorations, and I just missed one stair and collapsed. And with a big pregnant belly, that one stair was enough to just crush all the bones in my left foot. They kept her in as long as possible, but it was about 5 days after I broke my foot, they finally said, we really need to get your surgery done. So they tried to induce labor, and I had to go through labor pains. It was every 3 minutes for 14 hours. And finally they said, this is just not working. She was a stubborn little baby and she was not about to come out. So they ended up having to do the C-section. Because I couldn't get up and walk after my C-section with the temporary cast on my foot, that put me at a greater risk for blood clots. I was in so much pain, and having a non-weight-bearing temporary cast, I couldn't do that. I could not get up. The pain was unbearable, and they wanted me to hop down the hallway with a walker. That wasn't going to happen. So 2 days after my C-section was when I felt the pain in my chest, and it felt like I couldn't catch my breath. And I did alert the doctors, and I was told that I was on blood thinner to kind of combat the problems that came because I couldn't walk. But I still developed the blood clots, even being on the heparin. And I still needed to have my surgery on my foot. And so that was done 2 days after I complained about pain in my lungs. But the orthopedic surgeon that did that surgery didn't know that I had complained about having pain in my chest. So they went ahead and did the surgery, and that surgery was successful, although I was in a lot of pain after having that. But I was due to go home the next day. And blood clots were the furthest thing from my mind at that point in time. And I really, really wanted to get out of the hospital. But when they had me in that wheelchair waiting to go home, I did feel a lump in my calf. It felt like I had muscle strain. And I felt like I should probably mention that to the doctor as well. I didn't know what it was, but it just didn't feel right. So that's when the doctors looked at me and had a little bit of panic on their faces, because they knew what that was. They knew that it was probably DVT. And that's also when I reminded them that I had complained about pain in my chest prior to my foot surgery. And that's, again, panic looked on those doctors' faces, and they did the testing for that. And I did indeed have pulmonary embolism, blood clots in my lungs. So it was a pretty stressful time, but I survived the blood clots, and that's why I'm here to share my story, that don't hesitate if you feel any of the symptoms of blood clots in your legs or your lungs. If you have shortness of breath, you feel pain or swelling in your legs, please seek immediate help, because these are treatable. Blood clots are treatable, but they can also kill. There is hope, and don't let it discourage you. It's going to change your life for a short period of time, but there is recovery, full recovery, with the right medication.